"What? You're not getting the company?" Her voice tightened. "But everyone always said—" I shook my head, watching her carefully. I never thought I'd be telling this story, but at 34, I've learned that sometimes the people closest to you can surprise you in the worst ways. My family owns a prestigious architecture firm in Seattle, Westlake Designs, which my mother built from the ground up over 3 decades. My sister and I grew up surrounded by blueprints and scale models, learning the business from childhood. Throughout the industry, whispers followed me that I would someday inherit a controlling interest in this multi-million-dollar firm. It never seemed important to me. I believed in finding someone who loved me for who I was, not what I stood to inherit. 8 months ago, I proposed to Rebecca, a dazzling marketing executive who seemed perfect. She had impeccable taste, always suggesting Michelin-starred restaurants or weekend escapes to luxury resorts in Napa Valley. She never hesitated when I offered my credit card, and I enjoyed treating her. I considered her refined preferences a sign of our compatibility, someone who appreciated quality just as I did. My older sister Emma, just 2 years my senior, wasn't convinced. During family dinners or company events, she'd pull me aside with concerned glances. "Don't you think Rebecca asks too many questions about the company finances?" she'd whisper. "Have you noticed how she always steers conversations toward your inheritance?" I dismissed her concerns as overprotectiveness. Emma had always looked out for me, but this time I thought she was seeing problems where none existed. "She's just curious about our future," I'd insist. As the months passed, Rebecca's inquiries became increasingly specific. "What percentage of the company will you control when your mother steps down? Or, will you automatically become CEO? Or is there a board vote?" Even then, I rationalized it as natural interest in her future security. One evening at my lakeside condo, Emma cornered me in the kitchen while Rebecca chatted with other guests in the living room. "We need to test her," she said firmly. I bristled at the suggestion. "That's manipulative. I trust her." Emma gave me that big sister look I knew too well. "Look, Jason, the signs are glaring. What if we find out whether she's with you or for the Westlake fortune? If she loves you for yourself, great. You can move forward with confidence. If not—" For 2 weeks I resisted, but Emma's arguments gradually wore me down. We'd heard stories about ambitious social climbers who targeted wealthy families. Eventually, reluctantly, I agreed to a plan. I would tell Rebecca that my mother had decided Emma would assume full control of Westlake Designs, leaving me with only a modest trust fund. Enough to live comfortably, but nowhere near the wealth everyone assumed I'd inherit. On a quiet Sunday, while Rebecca and I relaxed at my place overlooking Lake Washington, I made my move. With a carefully practiced sigh, I broke the fabricated news. "My mother made her decision about the company's future yesterday," I said, staring into my coffee. "Emma's getting control of everything. I'll only receive a small trust, barely enough to maintain my current lifestyle if I'm careful." The transformation in Rebecca's expression was subtle, but unmistakable. Her eyes widened momentarily before she controlled her features, a flash of calculation crossing her face. "What? You're not getting the company?" Her voice tightened. "But everyone always said." I shook my head, watching her carefully. "Mom thinks Emma has the better vision for Westlake's future. I might take on some minor consulting role, but the inheritance everyone talks about? It's not happening." She hugged me, but the embrace felt hollow, her mind clearly racing. "I'm sure you'll figure something out," she offered weakly. Within days, Emma showed me screenshots of messages Rebecca had sent her. Casual at first, then increasingly flattering. Compliments about Emma's business acumen, her design sensibility, her leadership qualities, all from someone who'd previously shown minimal interest in my sister. My stomach knotted as I realized Emma's suspicions might be justified. If Rebecca truly was motivated by money, she'd logically pivot toward the actual heir, my sister. Emma suggested we take the charade further. She would respond to Rebecca's overtures, seeing how far she'd go. Despite the sick feeling in my gut, I agreed. If Rebecca was betraying me, I needed irrefutable proof. The evidence came quickly. Rebecca's messages grew bolder. "You have such vision compared to Jason. I wish we'd connected earlier." Then came an invitation to meet for private coffee, to discuss the future. Sitting in Emma's downtown office overlooking Puget Sound, we read through the increasingly brazen messages. Emma's face hardened when we reached one particularly damning line. "Jason doesn't have the resources I expected. I can't tie my future to someone without ambition or prospects." "She's not even subtle," Emma muttered, sliding her phone across her glass desk. The betrayal cut deep, turning my affection to ash. This woman I'd planned to marry was coldly abandoning me for my sister the moment she believed I wasn't inheriting the family fortune. We decided to gather more evidence before confronting her. Emma would invite Rebecca to her Belltown penthouse under the pretense of discussing company matters. We'd record everything, ensuring Rebecca couldn't deny her actions later. Rebecca's response was immediate. "Looking forward to seeing you. I'll wear something special." The implication was clear. This wasn't just about business. On the arranged evening, I hid in Emma's spare bedroom while my sister welcomed Rebecca. Through a cracked door, phone recording, I watched Rebecca arrive in an expensive dress I'd bought her for her birthday. After brief pleasantries about Westlake designs, Rebecca moved closer to Emma on the sleek leather sofa. "We could make an incredible power couple," she purred. "With your inheritance and my connections, we'd be unstoppable." "What about my brother?" Emma asked carefully. "Aren't you engaged to him?" Rebecca waved dismissively. "Jason's sweet, but let's be realistic. No inheritance, no vision. He's basically treading water. We both deserve better than that." Each word was a knife twist. I struggled to remain silent as she disparaged me, calling me directionless and unambitious. Rebecca then placed her hand on Emma's arm, leaning closer. "I'm sure we can come to a private understanding," she whispered suggestively. Emma excused herself momentarily, and Rebecca waited, clearly believing she'd sealed the deal. After gathering sufficient evidence, Emma returned and skillfully ended the evening with vague promises to "think about what you've said." Our family's annual gala at the Westlake estate presented the perfect opportunity for confrontation. The event would host extended family, business associates, and, crucially, Rebecca's parents, who had been boasting about their daughter's advantageous match to a Westlake heir. The night arrived, the lakeside property illuminated with elegant lighting. Rebecca appeared in a designer gown I'd purchased months earlier, introducing her beaming parents to various influential guests. After dinner and speeches celebrating my mother's business achievements, Emma subtly signaled me. It was time. I stepped forward, glass in hand. "If I could have everyone's attention for a moment," I began, my voice steadier than I felt. "I have something important to share about my fiancée." All eyes turned toward us. Rebecca's smile froze. Recently, I pretended I wouldn't inherit Westlake Designs to test Rebecca's commitment. Her response was to immediately pursue my sister, calling me directionless and suggesting they form a power couple once she gained access to the fortune. Shocked murmurs rippled through the crowd. Rebecca's parents stared in disbelief. "That's ridiculous," Rebecca sputtered. "They're manipulating you. It was a setup." Emma calmly held up her phone. "We have recordings. Your words, your text messages. There's no denying it." My mother stepped forward, her architectural precision evident in her measured words. "You called my son unambitious while attempting to seduce my daughter for financial gain?" Rebecca faltered, tears gathering. "I was just concerned about our future together. If he had no inheritance, how would we—" "For clarity," Emma interrupted. "Our mother never changed anything. Jason remains co-heir to Westlake. We merely tested your intentions, and you failed spectacularly." The silence in the grand hall was absolute. Rebecca's mother, face flushed with embarrassment, grabbed her daughter's arm. "We didn't raise you for this," she hissed. "You told us this was love, not a business transaction." Her father, a respected surgeon, looked utterly mortified. "We're leaving. Now. Don't expect our support for this wedding, or anything else." Rebecca tried approaching me, tears streaming down her face. "Jason, please, I can explain everything. We can fix this." I stepped back, remembering how easily she'd dismissed me as worthless without wealth. "There's nothing to fix. It's over." Security discreetly escorted them out. The party gradually resumed its rhythm, though conversations remained subdued. Later, my mother embraced me. "You deserve to know the truth, painful as it is." In the weeks that followed, Rebecca bombarded me with desperate messages. "I've made a terrible mistake. My parents have cut me off. I have nowhere to go." I recognized the manipulation and maintained my silence. We later heard that her parents had indeed disowned her, refusing her shelter or financial assistance. She reportedly moved between friends' apartments, unemployed after being dismissed from her firm when the scandal reached her workplace. Momentary pity would surface, only to be washed away by the memory of her calling me directionless, her calculated pivot to Emma, her naked ambition that trumped any genuine feeling. 6 months have passed since that night. The architecture firm continues to thrive under my mother's guidance, with Emma and I learning more executive responsibilities daily. We're closer than ever, strengthened by weathering this storm together. As for Rebecca, I heard she eventually moved to Portland, starting over with a significantly humbler lifestyle than she'd envisioned. Her betrayal taught me to recognize authentic connections and the warning signs I'd previously ignored. Money reveals character. It doesn't create it. Rebecca wasn't content with a comfortable life built on mutual respect and love. She wanted guaranteed luxury regardless of which sibling provided it. Her entitlement ultimately left her with nothing. If you've enjoyed this story of fortune hunters getting their comeuppance, hit that subscribe button. Who knows what family drama I might share next that will leave you even more entertained.